Hey everyone, there's been a lot of changes, so I've decided to make this short little video about me, my backstory, and what my dreams and aspirations are. If you're interested, then you can watch. Enjoy! Alright, so starting off with a little backstory. When I turned 18, I went to New York City for the first time all by myself, and then I lived there for about 9 months, got a Cambridge English degree there. It was an amazing time. I was still figuring out who I was, and yeah, it was just great to be in the city that I really loved, but it was hard to be away from family. As soon as I got my Cambridge degree, I decided to keep on traveling in my gap year, and I went to Madrid first and then Barcelona. So I stayed another 4 months in Spain. And then I went to London to actually go to a musical theater school, which I had applied for, and I went to audition for a weekend in London as well with my father. He came over as well, and it was amazing. And I got in, so I moved to London. Even though I really liked the musical theater subject, I didn't really like living in London. I was very lonely, and it was hard to make friends for me over there. So when it was summertime, I went back to Barcelona and applied for a job being a tour guide on a bike. And I loved it so much that my parents were like, "Oh, we want you to stay there because if it's possible, like, why don't you stay there? Because you are so much happier there now than you were in London." So I left everything I had behind in London. Don't know where my stuff is to this day, but left it behind and started a new life in Barcelona. Went to a last minute audition in Sitges, Barcelona, close to the city, of a musical theater school called the IAB, the Institute of the Arts Barcelona. And they accepted me. So I auditioned and I got into a bachelor's degree of musical theater. So I started my musical theater bachelor in Barcelona in English. So it was amazing, so much better than London. I had the sun, I had people from all over the world coming there to study, and everyone had to make friends, you know? They all start out by having to make friends. It was just so good. In this picture, you can see me playing Cinderella from Into the Woods, and it was awesome. In the meantime, I would give tours on these bikes from a Dutch bike company called Cruising Barcelona. And so that was my part time jobs, especially in the weekends and on summer holidays. I would bike around the city and show everyone around like a tour guide. And it was amazing as well. And I even wrote a guidebook about it, which I'll show you next. So one day I decided to get creative and make a little guidebook. It was like a summer project for me, and it still is selling. I don't know why, because it's pretty dated from like 2018. But yeah, I'm very proud of my little guidebook. It's called The Quirky Guide for Travelers Alike because I felt quirky, and it's just a little different than everyone else and every other guidebook there is. So I would always force myself to go out and do fun things. And this is me on a painting with wine class with a room full of strangers, but it was so much fun. And the people who own this art shop in Barcelona, they always follow me and compliment me on my social media. They're so supportive and just amazing. Then, after 3 years of studying musical theater, I graduated, and my parents came over and my grandparents as well, which was amazing. You can see my mom behind me and my grandmother as well in the yellow. And yeah, very happy. And yeah, so I'm flying through this really, really quickly, but just so you have a feel of my past. After graduating, I went back to the Netherlands and I went to live in Amsterdam after finding a room because that was very, very tricky. So I moved to Amsterdam and I had like 3 jobs at the same time, and I did auditions so I could get, into the musical theater industry. But within 3 months of living there, COVID hit. And so I lost all of my work and there were no more auditions. So um, I decided to take matters into my own hands and become an entrepreneur. So, almost 3 years ago, I started my own company, my copywriting business called Write This Way, because I liked writing my college thesis and I also liked writing the guidebook. And I already was journaling every day. So, I was like, I can do it for other people, I can write for other people. And so I started it out and it was great, but lots of ups and downs at first, of course, because you need to figure out what you're doing, promote yourself, all of those things. But I always really, really enjoyed it. Recently, I've gone through a rebranding of my business. So it used to be called Write This Way, and now it's going to be called esMeedenken. It's more Dutch, but it's kind of the word for thinking along with es added in front of it, because then it's esMeedenken, so it's one word. It's basically thinking along with you in the Esmee kind of way. So I really like it, and I hope you do too. And I decided to create just one business account on Instagram because, well, I was the front of my business, the face of my business. I still am. But I'm also just me in my musical theater endeavors as well. So I decided to just have one account, and yeah, it's less of a juggle with content. And I just want to be straight up about who I am, what I'm into, what I'm doing, and you guys can follow along, hopefully, if you want to. You don't have to. Aside from my business endeavors, I really want to play Anna in the musical Frozen. It's coming to the Netherlands soon, so I hope I can find a way to get into the audition room and really go for it. Pretty soon, I'm gonna be headed to the studio again to record some more covers, and I'll use that as a promo, and hopefully, my wish will come true one day. And I hope for you to see it happen as well. Follow along on my journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!